Hello everyone, and welcome back to another one with me, Miss Whitney B. So today I'm bringing you guys some breadcrumbs that I have been receiving lately. I've been wondering about all these things I've been experiencing, and so the last I don't know, 3-4 months I've been focusing really lovingly and calibrating towards staying solid, grounded, and stable and centered while focusing on balance and harmony. And so I knew that there was big importance to that, right? And that it took over so strongly, and that my inner being keeps reaching for that over and over and over again, that I was like, oh, this is a big deal. I don't know why this is a big deal, but I know it's a big deal. And actually I was so driven by the call that in the beginning I questioned it for a second, like a hot second, and then boom, I just shifted into the energy. And now I'm deepening, because I've been working on this since, September, and getting to deeper levels of grounded, centered, solid, stable, with balance and harmony, right? And so it's just evolving. And I've been wondering about it lately, new levels of evolution, because the ones that I've created before, well, I've mastered those now. And so it's time for an upgrade. And I've been kind of doing this dance and finding the new upgrade, and then finding this rhythm and flow that really feels like alignment, that feels like satisfaction, that feels like ease, that feels like, yes, this works. I like this system. I like this process, and I want to keep doing it. And Spirit told me, because I asked, of course I'm asking about it. I ask about everything. And I'm like, Spirit, what's this about? And they're like, well, it's about being in the in-between. You need to be like the flamingo right now and be okay with being in the in-between. You're basically giving birth to a whole new world by creating heaven on earth within the self. As we align and activate, we focus on, or we anchor in, we don't focus on, but we anchor in through our focus, dreams coming true. Heaven on earth. We focus on anchoring, or as we focus on alignment, feeling good, taking accountability, making changes, showing up as authentic self, that then through that area of focus, we create as conscious creators what heaven on earth looks like for us. What heaven, quote unquote heaven, whatever idea you want to put with that. I just think of heaven as like the ideal, the other side. It has no struggle, no trauma, you're not human. There's no physical body. It's just a place of love and high vibration and feeling good and connection and oneness. And there's no resistance or contrast or anything to that effect. And so that's kind of how I think about heaven. But again, any context for yourself, wherever you're coming from with that. So good enough. But as we are all that we are, we align to that creation because we are it. That's the beauty of the law of attraction, and the struggle at times, that you cannot manifest and have what you are not. And so by not even focusing on creating heaven on earth, but by staying in the present moment, in the now, and focusing on alignment and creating more and more feelings of home for the self, alignment to the self, feelings of home, you create that. And so that's the cause and effect of you doing what you do. What you're doing is focusing on alignment. What you're actually affecting is that you're creating heaven on earth. So I'm going to get some more into this. There's way more to this breadcrumb, but I realized I was so excited to make the video that I forgot to invite you to share, comment, and subscribe. Please do feel free to share this with other like-minded beings. Also, this is an inclusive community. I have created my channel with the intentions that this is a place we get to come and grow. We get to be our authentic selves. We get to share our authentic experiences with no judgment and with love and compassion and understanding. And so please do feel free to leave your experiences or different ways that you've been focusing on grounding or centering, or even just where you're at, whatever stage you're in your journey. Feel free to share. I love reading your comments. You guys are the work that you do, and just the light that you emanate is so beautiful, and I'm just so grateful. And I feel gifted. I feel blessed for having these experiences and being able to share my experiences, and then having you guys meet me there with open hearts. It's amazing. It's awe-inspiring, and I'm gonna get a little emotional because it's literally dreams coming true for me. These are things I've been dreaming about since I was a little girl, and I finally got the balls to go get it. And so thank you for meeting me there, my beautiful people. I appreciate you so much. And wherever this finds you, whether it be, it resonates, or it's alignment, or it's contrast and it doesn't resonate at all, just thank you for being here with me, and for, taking a moment to stop and listen, and to even just, I'm saying I feel bigger than that. I feel like even more than that, thank you for being willing to take a human body and be present. Thank you for going on the journey and just being you. Thank you. Okay, so now we're going to get back into my topic. So I've been focusing a lot on detachment and aligning to detachment, and that started happening to 2020. 2020 was huge for me. I went into full separation with my twin in the winter of 2020. And biggest struggle of my life. Holy shit. Made me face and confront so many aspects of myself, and then ask me to grow and to learn and to heal and to evolve and to become the very best version and the very most authentic version of myself I possibly could be, with as much transparency and honesty and love as possible. But what I ended up learning through all of that was that boundaries and accountability and honesty and transparency, they're huge. And those were things that I definitely took on as big lessons in my family dynamic and in my younger years, just growing. I finally completed that cycle and accomplished, and that was really hard work. And thank you to 2020 for that, and for my twin and his false twin. I'm so grateful. I have learned so much. And so back to detachment, this all ties in, because by coming into that space of, thank you so much for the lessons, to all of you, each and every one of you, for being my reflections, for my family members, my friends, my twins, I don't really have enemies, but I do have people who are contrast for me. And so coming into more love, and thank you for being that contrast so I can align. I literally did a prayer the other day and bought some flowers and lit some candles to say thank you to the false twin. She has put me through so much and asked me to grow on so many levels that I literally would not be this version of me today if she hadn't been here, and if my twin hadn't been willing to do this work and to show up. And so this journey, it can be very challenging, because you have to clear out everything that separates you from who you truly are. And that's definitely a dance, because the whole thing with this journey is you purposely came here and forgot who you were, and then experienced a whole bunch of contrast and programming, so that you could go through the experience of being those things, so then you could transmute it and come back to all that you are, and in full remembrance, right? And so, process, woo! But also, amazing. Oh my God, the most amazing thing. I've experienced so many of my past lives. I have so much knowledge and wisdom about who I am and what I came here to do. I have so much alignment, so much. Like, I've received, immense amount of support and love, not only from my physical world, but very, very much my spiritual world. I work with so many wonderful ascended masters and these things. But what I had to learn, what they have taught me, my twin, the false twin, my family, and my masters have taught me that detachment is the key. Okay? Having a sense of flow, of ease, of acceptance. It's okay. Whatever comes, no matter what comes, everything's going to be okay. No matter what. No matter what. What I learned last year on my twin journey is that no matter where my twin is, he's always there. He's always talking to me, sharing with me visions, messages, songs, gifts, presents, dreams. He comes to me in millions of ways. And so I went from this place of these things are happening to me, not for me, to these things are happening for me, and that's a gift and a blessing. And the more I accept that and live in gratitude and appreciation, the less I'm bothered by it, the more I'm grateful for it, and then I get free. I have non-attachment at that point. I become so detached because I know no matter what's happening, it's all happening in divine timing, in divine order. And there's always signs, symbols, and synchronicities. There's always messages. Spirit always comes through. And my twin is literally always there. I know him. I would know him in a body or not. Period. His energy comes to me every single day and shares with me love. And I share it back. And now where I'm at, or what I'm working on, is taking the detachment to the next level of awareness. Okay, so now I got detachment down, right? I can do detachment. I can go into love. I can go into acceptance. I can go into surrender and divine timing and grace. I can go into ease and flow and how everything's always working out for me and the whole universe is set up for me and everything's good, right? I look up and it's 11:11 on 113. Pretty good. That's some good number synchronicity. This is a portal, guys. So I focus on how everything's working out for me. But now where I notice I'm getting caught up is that there's that ego, right? The spiritual ego, it evolves with you. And so as I'm going into more and more levels of awareness, so is my ego. And here comes my ego holding attachment to the actions I perform and whether that's in alignment or not. And so I received this really beautiful breadcrumb from a reading by Twin Flame Union. And she has shared and helped me align on so many levels. It's amazing. The last, 3 or 4 months since I've been listening to her, I have had so much homecoming to my own soul. And I'm just so grateful because boom, there's the energy, boom, there's the energy. But today she was talking about how important detachment from the detachment from the results of the actions that we perform. How important that is. And so I was like, oh, that's where I'm going. That's where I'm like needing to calibrate. That's where I keep going off kilter because I'm like, oh, I got everything's working out for me. Everything's going to line up. Everything's going to align. Of course, the whole setup, the whole universe is set up for me. I know how to talk to my spirit guides. I know how to call on the ascended masters. I know how to ask for help. I do that every day. Okay, yeah. But guess what? You still want what you want. And as long as you hold attachment to what you want, you're going to keep messing up. Or not messing up, but you're going to keep getting contrast to come in to let you know that there's more alignment than where we're at. And so here comes my beautiful inner being talking about, this isn't working. Here's contrast. And I'm like, whoa. And so then I had to go and wade through fear. And then I removed the fear. And then I was to doubt. And I was like, oh no, I know what's happening. And I had to reprogram through the doubt. Well, then we came back to concern. And I was like, oh, so I'm watching. So doubt is an upgrade from fear. And then concern is an upgrade from doubt. Now, how do I go back from doubt to the 0 point? I'm feeling good and in alignment and excited because I'm getting all these waves of excitement and of the future. And I can see I'm getting a lot of visions. Again, like I said, it's funny because when I came into the conscious awareness that my twin is always, always, always with me and that he always brings me the next steps of what's going to happen, I learned that he was my silent partner, which was actually a reading I had received last year, probably in the spring, I want to say. And I was like, as I was coming into non-attachment and I'd done the purging and I'd gotten to a place where I was like, okay, this is what it is. And that's okay. And I got to live my best life anyways. And then I got to focus on me and do all this stuff. That's when that stepped in. And so what I learned is like, oh, you're there the whole time. And so all the content I make it's information that my twin shares with me. Whether that literally be, he's like, oh, here, listen to this song, or here's this experience, or here's this conversation, or here's this contrast. It can literally be, it's so funny because it's the most random of things. It can be all of those things, and then also feelings, sentiments, visions that I'm experiencing, colors, different group members. He's brought a lot of my tribesmen into me. I don't even know that that was done consciously, but because we are twins, have the same DNA. We are the same. We are two halves of one whole soul, two whole halves. Divine masculine is one part, divine feminine is the other. And as we merge together and come into full union, we become one whole. But that is still two whole entities becoming one greater whole, but still whole themselves. Yes, creating the bigger. So it's like the triangle, right? 1, 2, and then 3 with the union, right? So also I learned some really amazing things about that, and I will do another video. I just got some amazing Lumerian downloads about the twin flame union and just what our mission is here, what we're doing. And I already knew these things, but like whole other levels. So definitely I'll make another video. But yeah, back to twin flame union and her breadcrumb that she shared. So she was talking about how if you ever catch yourself focusing, particularly divine feminines, if you catch yourself focusing on your twin and not yourself, your twin is not going to be paying attention to you, period. And I was like, oh, so that's what happens is he'll come in and I'll experience all these things, and then I'll move my focus from what I'm doing to the union and what's going on there and what that looks like and what we're experiencing and working on. Well, once I do that, once I shift from being focused on myself as a whole self and meeting in co-creation to boom, here's us as a unit and us together as the whole. When I do that, boom, there goes my contrast, because I went from being detached to attached. And so I was like, oh, that's fucking brilliant. That's brilliant. That's exactly what's happening. And so I had mastered detachment in the physical world in the sense of like, oh no, everything's working out for me. Well, there's layers. Yes, everything's always working out for you. That's always true. But am I standing there solid, stable, and grounded, centered in balance and harmony with all that is, not getting attached to the outcome, like the result? Oh, what does this mean? Because that's what I would do, is I would calibrate, right? I'm calibrating next steps from what's here in my present moment. Well, that also creates attachment. And so I'm like, oh, that's how I'm doing it. This is fucking fascinating. Also, now that I've come into this awareness and I've been wondering about this, all of my lovely, I have a lot of clients who are twins, and then I have a lot of good friends and family members who are twins. And I brought this up, and everybody had so much to share about their experiences with this. And so I was like, wow, this really resonates. This is in a lot of alignment, and I'm going to make a video to share because, well, shit, if I wondered, I know somebody else has got to wonder. I can't be the only one wondering about this stuff, nor the only one experiencing it. And so basically, what I've come to understand in all of that is the key focus is self. Being your best self, living your best life, having quality in your life, bringing yourself, like fueling your passions, feeding your desires, and not in a low vibrational way, but like for me, the desire to share. And so I create videos and content so I can share. The desire to be of service to other. My day job looks like a job where I'm completely focused on serving at-risk populations. And so when I started accepting and acknowledging myself for who I am and what I want, and then taking steps to be that, boom, boom, I line up. And guess what? Here comes my twin coming in on a pony ride. And I'm just like, oh, hey, there you are out of nowhere. What's up? Well, that's why it's so shocking. And also that's why it happens that way, because so focused on self and living best life, focused on sharing and growing and loving and just, you know, filling your cup. When I say fill in your cup, I mean quality self-care, quality acts for the self, and then to be of service from the planet, from being of full service to the self. And so as I'm doing all of that, my twin comes in and it speeds up and it speeds up. But then what ends up happening is I then move my focus back over to union. And what Spirit was telling me is that you're already in union. We have, as a couple, been in 5D union for over a year. And I was like, oh, got it. So when I focus, move my attachment to union, rather than stay detached from union and focus on how I'm already union and all the things that I do, boom, that's how I go into contrast. Got it. Okay, so what Spirit was saying and what I was understanding as Whitney, my physical self, not just what Spirit is sharing with me, but also me, my physical grounded self, is that focus on the self, focusing on joy, filling the cup, passion, the mission work. Like, what did you choose to do to come here? What calls to your soul? Focus on the mission, focus on lighting up yourself, your path, living in your heart space, and taking action where you feel called. Boom, put you right in the neutral zone. And the neutral zone is key, because in the neutral zone, you're on the middle of the road. You're not polarized. You're not over here. You don't have attachment where you're like, this is what it has to be. And if it's not this, then it's that, right? That's very binary. That is not how energy works. That is what our physical world is doing right now, but that is not truly how energy works. That's why everybody's like, oh, it doesn't feel good. It's, oh, and it hasn't felt good in a long time. And I mean, like, Earth is literally one of the hardest planets you can come and incarnate on because of that duality. It is also why souls like myself are like, ooh, the hard stuff, let's do it. We're like, triple honor, like high level work at a college, like we're going to call Earth a college, right? And instead of it being like a 2-year community program, 2-year community college, we're going into like an Ivy League doctorate program. I mean, that's what Earth looks like, where there are planets where there's very little contrast. And you can literally, I was reading not too long ago about different dimensions and planets where you can literally just walk through the veil and go visit the other side and then go back into the physical body. And I was just like, whoa, that's cool. But what Spirit was saying about that is that's a very low contrasting, right? And so that is often a place that souls go when they haven't really embodied very many times. To come to Earth until recently, and when I say recently, I mean last 60 to 100 years, you've had to have lived 5 different embodied lifetimes. Well, when universe put out the call because the golden age was coming and we needed to elevate this planet and move on, universe started accepting souls coming here, whatever level they were at. We're putting out the call. We need star seeds, star blossoms. We need souls who are willing to come and help us hold anchor to elevate this planet. And so once that happened, we got a whole bunch of different beings coming in from all various levels of awareness and knowledge about the physical body. But twins, we're in our last lifetimes, guys. This is like, we are masters. And so if you know you're a twin, or you resonate with that, or you're just a being with a lot of skill set and a lot of knowledge, you've probably very likely, Spirit is saying like 99%, you've had a lot of lifetimes and you have a lot of knowledge. Now, a lot of lifetimes may not look like 1,000 lifetimes. A lot of lifetimes could be as simple as 9. But if you go through a lot of experiences, Spirit is saying living through what we're doing right now here in 2020, living through this period of time, we will have experienced about 7 or 8 or 9 lifetimes. If we're truly doing the work and we're really here, we will experience the knowledge and the raising of 7 to 9 lifetimes just because of how strong and powerful the energy is here right now. They're saying, so we want you to know, if this video resonates with you, if you resonate with being a twin, if you resonate with being on a very powerful spiritual journey, and you have a lot of mastery in your life already, and they're saying it doesn't even have to be conscious, my friend. Does not have to be conscious. If you are a good manifester, a good aligner, if everything just happens to work out for you often, that was one of my things, is things just kind of work out for me. I don't really have to try, except with something that I have attachment to. But I was good at having non-attachment, so I would get lots of stuff, and that was very easy for me. And so things like that, like if it's easy for you to do that, or it's easy for you, you've always been sensitive and can always like feel what other people feeling, or get glimpses of visions or premonitions, or you're a healer, herbs call to you, or animals, children, like all these different things, highly evolved things, my friends. If you're a teacher, you're having the desire, the urge to serve through shining the light and educating others through your own experiences. Yeah. So definitely look into that. Oh, okay. Before I end my video, I know I kind of just did a little segment, so thank you for being present with me through that and having patience. Spirit's saying that all is valid, and that they're wanting you to understand that time isn't linear, and lifetimes doesn't necessarily equate to experience. So maybe some have lived like 100 lifetimes, but that they weren't the most challenging lifetimes. They just came here to just experience, to just be. And Spirit is saying you're still gaining knowledge and adding to the whole just as that. But some of us have come here, like I have not had an umpteenth amount of lives here on earth. It's actually been a smaller number, but they were heavily dense times with a lot of transformation. So this is not my first time in an experience like 2020. I also went through a time period of that back in the 12th century, in where like over by Persia and Russia. I think now it's like Uzbekistan or something like that. Anyways, I had a past life there, and it was very much like it is here. And what's going on in the United States, and in Oregon is where I live on the West Coast, and just the whole political environment. And Spirit saying it's not Oregon, it's the whole U.S. It was very similar, very much the same. And so I've gone through. I lived in the Egyptian times. I lived in Lemuria. I've lived in Atlantis. I had 2 lifetimes in Atlantis. Multiple lifetimes in Lemuria, which is about the twin thing. That's how I'm a twin. That's what we were doing here. I was one of the very first original light workers. I just got an amazing download about that. But many does not have always equal. Doesn't always equal experience. It's how dense the energy is and how much you grow and experience within that, which dictates your level of awareness and the knowledge that you've learned. And so Spirit is saying that many who are going to be joining me in this channel and listening to this reading, we have had all variations of numbers of lives, but that the core of theme here is that we've learned a lot and we're very powerful. We have much mastery. Spirit is saying we only play small so that we can actually learn what it is to get completely free again. But the point is to play small. And on the other side, we don't have that kind of contrast. There is no small. It's not like that. There is small in this. It's like a little tiny form. But we're just powerful. We're here. We get to pretend we're not powerful. And like, there are literally lines of souls up there waiting to come in. I've seen another breadcrumb that I'll have to share with you guys, but it was literally like a giant warehouse full of light and babies. It was amazing. There's going to be a huge 10-year push on the seeding of the planet, and it started in July of 2019, and it will end in 2029. But yeah, there's a lot of souls coming in. Okay, so now we're going to go back to the neutral zone. Staying on the middle road, in the middle, right? Balance. There's no polarization in the middle. And Spirit is absolutely going to bring you contrast. Absolutely will give you experiences that are extremes so that you will find and live in the middle ground. So what I was receiving about all of this is that if we're going to wrap it up and put a cute little bow on it, I would say it's all about finding the joy, living in your passion, living in your authenticity, and living in your alignment. It's all about being harmonious and balanced within the self. Also, I heard this, I say this all the time, as above, so below, but this is about oneness and alignment. Alignment to self. As you align to yourself, you align to the entire universe. We are one. We are absolutely one. So as we align to ourself, we align to all that is. And so I say this often: as above, so below, as within, so without, as the soul, so the universe. And so this is just a physical decree of oneness. And that is truly, to me at least, what the twin flame journey is about. It's about becoming completely pure and whole and authentic and aligned as the self. You can only meet the twin there. And every single place you're not there is a place that you have separation, is a place that there is disillusionment and illusionment, and your twin will come and reflect that so beautifully back to you and say, do the work. Do you see that? Do you see that? That's out of alignment. That's not working for me. Not working for me. Oh my goodness. My twin was so good at that. And I'm so fucking grateful for it. I literally have changed my life and the life of so many people in my sphere. I was literally just having a conversation before I started this video with my aunt, and she was like, I would like you to take a bow. You taught me that conflict is normal. You taught me that all of this is natural, that we are just going to have to learn how to talk to each other, how to be real, how to be authentic, how to not get triggered, how to reach for unity within ourselves, how to reach for love and compassion and understanding rather than getting mad. And then if we are triggered and we are mad, owning that and saying, you know what, I'm mad, I need to take a break, or I just need to say this because I'm mad. And then also asking permission and giving consent. Like, you know what? Somebody calls and you're just in a shitty ass mood and they're like, hey, how's it going? I'm pissed. Okay. Now, before going on and launching onto them, then I'm pissed. I would like to talk, but I need to get some stuff off my chest. Would you be willing to hear that? Would you like to hear that? Would you be willing to listen to me and be a soundboard? Because right now I'm pissed and I just need to share. I don't want to hear what you have to say. I just want to share. And so, yes, that may not sound nice. That is not, quote unquote, societally polite. Fuck that shit. That's why society is empty and people are so unhappy. We have more suicide, more addiction, more problems than we've ever had because people are empty and focused on being nice and appearing good rather than actually being authentic. And coming from your true soul, that's how you line up with yourself. Speak your truth and allow others to meet you there. But have respect, have boundaries, and take accountability for yourself when you step out of line. Or if you'd like to see a change. Spirit, it's not, stepping out of line is also normal and natural, and being willing to have that conversation and take accountability. The other day, I thought I was really a jack to my friend, and I was like, I'm so sorry, you're really going through something, and I was not being as patient as I could be. She was really triggered, and I'm like, girl, come from your higher self. Like, I need you to calm down. Like, listen, calm down. You're not hearing me. And she was just like repeating herself. And I got impatient with that. And I was like, dude, that's all ego. Like, you're not serving yourself. And so then I got off the phone with her because she was like, well, I need to go do this. And I was like, man, I'm such a jack. Like, I could be more compassionate and understanding. I don't like when those grandiose, dramatic, like, things get said and all of that gets put out there, but my friend gets to be where she's at, and I'm so good enough, and I just love her so much, and I find her so good enough, and you know what, that wasn't fair that I got all critical and judgy on her. Well, then later that night she calls me and she tells me how she just wants to thank me for listening to her and for loving her and for being present with her and for asking her to take accountability and to show up and to stand her ground because she fucking deserves. I mean, that's literally what I told her. I was like, girl, you fucking deserve. You're a queen and you rise and let's go. We don't have time for this petty bullshit. And she was like, thank you. I needed that. And I was like, oh, well, thank you for sharing that with me, because I actually had a whole conversation with the universe about how I felt like a shitty friend and how I could be better and how I could be a little less critical and a little more understanding. And just like, I was listening. There was a lot of listening in that conversation, but I wanted to fix it. I wanted to make it right. I didn't want to hear that coming out of her mouth, because I know when she's done with that trigger, she's going to be pissed. And she's going to be like, God, why did I do that? Because now I have to reprogram out of here. And so I was like, stop before we have to reprogram. And so it was this beautiful dance. And she was just like, no, I love you. Thank you. Thank you for being willing to do that. And I was like, oh, you're welcome. And also, I apologized and was like, I really felt like I could have done better. And she was like, oh, girl, I was so triggered. I didn't even hear that. And I was just like, well, thank you for having so much love and compassion and understanding for me. And so even though she didn't feel that way, I still felt that way. And so I had a whole conversation with the universe about how I would like to do better. And I would like to be more of a listener and less of a fixer. I would like to go into appreciation and understanding and love for where she is at and what she's going through, or anyone is going through, rather than making about how I know the right answer. And if she would just shift, she could be better. And so I've been learning. Another thing that my twin teaches me about is default. Like, when we do that kind of stuff, we think we have the answer and someone else doesn't. We're coming from a default. We're saying that I'm better than you. I know more than you. I have many more solutions than you. And that is not real. That's not real. But I am coming from a clear, untriggered space, and I can share objectively back information and help you by sharing tools, tips and tricks I've used. And that's where my friend and I were lining up. And she was like, oh no, I totally needed that. And I love that. But it's beautiful because it's just a beautiful balancing act for me, and learning how to be neutral, learning how to be more neutral, a better listener, like more, to listen more and to not come with the need or desire to fix. I always want to serve. That's what I came here to do. That's the whole point. And so, I come from that default. I want to serve. I want to fix. I want to help you feel better. I want that. Well, that's my default. That's my bias. And so just recognizing and taking accountability for what my biases are and where I'm coming from and what lens I'm looking through, and then being willing to listen to another and just appreciate and respect where they're at, and have compassion and understanding to choose to feel for them without attachment. This is where she's at, and that's so good enough. Look at how beautiful that is. This is where she is in her journey, and she's evolving and becoming and doing all of this beautiful work. And so neutrality, coming back again to that non-attachment, detachment, non-attached. And so I have another video that I put up earlier this week or last week that had to do with empathy versus sympathy. Sympathy is attachment. It is attachment. That experience resonates with me. I have lived that experience, and now I'm going to take that on and meet you there. Where compassion says, oh, I'm going to choose to feel love for you and understanding. Even if I don't mentally understand it, I've been through something tough in my life, or I've been somewhere where, something didn't work out for me, or I felt a certain way or whatever. And just choosing to say, you know what? So good enough that you're going through something. I just love you. And I'm grateful for you for being in this place and for sharing with me, and for, it's such a gift to have somebody come to you in such a vulnerable, authentic place and to share and to just, get comfort with you and to love with you. And that is such a beautiful gift. And so coming back to that non-attached place of, you know what, I'm going to choose to just care about you. This isn't about me. This is about you. And I can choose to be love in this moment and give you nurturing if that's what I so called, that's what I feel called. That's where I feel called. And so if I don't feel called for that, I will still be kind and I will still be loving, but I will honor my own boundaries too. Because again, I don't have all the answers. I don't always have the solution. And even maybe what I believe I have the solution, or when I believe I have the solution, or that I do have the solution, that's the solution for me. It doesn't mean it's for somebody else. And allowing someone, by asking permission to share, or even being vulnerable and saying, hey, I have these things that I personally have gone through that help me to get some cool tools or some resources or some tips or whatever that's really, really helped me to transform from this state or to move out of this into this new area. If you're ever interested in receiving it, I'd love to share it. And then just leaving that invitation there, and let that person, maybe this time they won't want it. Maybe even the 5th or the 12th time they won't want it. Maybe they will never want it. But I can choose to be love and to meet somebody where they are and just say, you're so good enough and I'm so grateful for you. And if you ever want help or want some advice, I'm happy to share that with you. I will gladly be that. in that moment. Just, and then also saying to others, like, say you're really busy, or say that you need you time, and you can just say, now is not a good time for me. I'm going to honor myself and meet myself where I am at, and say that I'm not in a place to do that, but let's reschedule. I would like to help you with that. I'm happy to meet you there, just not today. And so just being honest and authentic. So again, to wrap it up, focusing on non-attachment, on being detached, on staying in the middle lane, the middle ground, non-polarized, on no side of yes or no, or this or that, or black or white. Everything is all colors. There's many, many, many shades in the middle. And so not being polarized, staying in the middle, practicing oneness, all about focusing on balance and harmony and oneness with the self, alignment, and following your heart's desires and your calls from your heart to take action. Okay? And then staying in the present moment. The present moment is where everything, all the action is. It's where everything is being created. Every now moment is the moment where everything gets born. And so as you continue to align to yourself and you stay solid, centered, and grounded, practicing being in balance and in harmony with a focus on alignment and love and compassion and fun and self-care and self-love and of service to self and then the whole universe, wherever that is for you, we create this oneness. And so listening to the self, because your self has the answers. Your own heart, your higher self, your connection to yourself and your connection to source holds all the answers. I love it. I keep seeing these little feathers floating around. That's angels, spirit guides, ancestors, helper beings. They're there to help you. I guess I'm going to put in a last little reminder that if you ever do need help, please do reach out to them. They cannot come and assist you due to free will. You must call and ask for them to come. If you do not call and ask, they cannot be there. And so big invitation whenever you're concerned, worried, in need of help, uncertain, curious, wondering, wanting, desiring, looking for an answer, seeking. Ask spirit. Call on the universe, or whatever, however you look at that. Call on your helper beings, your ancestors, your spirit guides, your ascended masters. And really one of my favorite things is just to any and all beings coming in the highest vibrations of love and light on the middle road, could you please come help me? And I don't even always say on the middle road. I literally sometimes just say all the beings coming in the highest vibrations of love and light who would like to help me and be of service to me now. I also do invite others to observe, but again, I put that boundary down that it may only be beings coming in the highest vibrations of love and light. If you're not coming to be of service, you're not welcome here. If you're not coming to learn and observe and to grow, you're not welcome here. And so, just boundaries. All right? Wow. Thank you for joining me on this video. It ended up being a bit of a long one, but thank you for presence. Please do like, share, comment, and subscribe. And I'd love to hear about your journey and your experiences and different tips, tricks, and tools. And then trips reminded me of portals. And so portals you've been jumping, experiences where you're upgrading and aligning in new high vibrational ways. I'd love to hear about it, my friends. Please do share your reflections down below. I look forward to talking to you again on another one. Toodaloo.